What's up, ladies and gentlemen of the interweb? I got some pretty exciting news. This morning we finally got the first official PlayStation 5 news, and it's also not being called the PlayStation 5, but I'm still gonna call it the PlayStation 5 just out of nostalgia. But anyways, moving on. We are entering a new generation very soon, and this is an exciting time. It's different than when we were entering PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. The PlayStation 4 and Xbox One have both been a huge disappointment to gaming, but the new generation is setting up to be something huge. It is setting up to be something grand, and my favorite part of the new generation is PlayStation is joining us in the fight against digital media. PlayStation 5 will still support physical media, and backwards compatibility, you're only going to be able to play your PlayStation 4 games if you own them physically. Digital, you don't own that game, good luck buying it all over again because you were stupid. And with that being said, they're also going to have an SSD. An SSD only lasts 2 to 3 years, 4 if you're lucky at the very most. Which means if you're getting all your games digitally, you're gonna have to buy a whole new storage in a couple years because your storage is no longer going to work. I've been saying it for years. Buying your games digitally is one of the worst things you can possibly do. And now we see that even PlayStation agrees with that statement. So with that being said, let's just very shortly go over everything we've learned that are actually very important to the PlayStation 5 from this morning's PlayStation announcement. The current PlayStation VR headset will still work with the future PSVR. So if you're late to the party, like I am, go ahead and buy that PSVR headset. It's not gonna matter, it'll be the exact same one that you'll be using on the PlayStation 5. So go ahead, give it a chance. I mean, all the games are gonna be backwards compatible anyways if you have the intelligence to buy your games physically. So go ahead and do that. I mean, this is just, it's crazy. Like, people doubted PlayStation when they did not have backwards compatibility. People doubted PlayStation once they announced that they were gonna have Sean Layden and Jim Ryan running the show. And I think this announcement alone, I mean, it's changed my opinion on Sean Layden. I somewhat trust him at this point. So this might actually end up being a really big deal for the future of not only gaming, but for the future of PlayStation in general. They're going to be using AMD graphics, which is similar to what they're using on PlayStation 4. Before I get too far ahead of myself, this PlayStation is built on the same groundwork and the same frame as the PlayStation 4, so it is quite exciting. It's going to be very easy to play your PlayStation 4 games without having to hook up the old PlayStation 4. We have no confirmation yet, but PlayStation 3, 2, and 1 could maybe still come up and be, you know, backwards compatible on the new PlayStation. Who knows? As far as I've seen so far from digging deeper, the PlayStation 5, I'm still calling it that even though that's not its name, it's still going to be very much physical based. It's going to have a better Blu-ray system, which, I mean, I've been saying it for a while. They have better Blu-rays than what they use now. They could be using them. So it could be about that time where we go back to the era of the PlayStation 2 and the PlayStation 3, where the game, all except for maybe the day one patch, which would be like 100 megabytes at most, will all be playable on the disc, and that is going to be a very grand thing. And I kind of like that they are deciding that, you know, your digital games will not be backwards compatible, because this is going to have a whole impact on the people who buy their games digitally. They will no longer do that. They will begin using their brain and getting off their lazy bums and buying their games physically. I mean, oh my god, it takes so much out of you to spend 15 seconds getting out of your chair to change the disc. Like, oh my god, I know it's hard to do. It's really complicated. I mean, it puts a strain on the human body. You gotta be like top of the line NFL linebacker level of strength to do it. It's so hard. I understand, but that's what PlayStation wants. You're gonna have to use your physical disc if you want to use backwards compatible. I mean, oh my god, it's so hard. It's so hard. It takes so much out of you. It's just so much out of you. But with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I am really proud of PlayStation for joining the fight with Nintendo against digital media. And with that being said, let's get excited for the PlayStation 5. Sign me up right now to pre-order. That actually hurt. Why did I smack my desk? Jesus Christ, that's gonna bruise. But anyways, I am ready to pre-order this thing. As Reggie Fils-Aimé once said, my body is ready. And with that being said, try not to die, and I will see you in the next video.